Interesting to see. We've made a nice little pullback to at least the 100. We could even say to the 200. They're in a close enough approximation of each other, to say that really the 100 and the 200 are pretty much one and the same, as far as the overall, proximity that markets, will move to. Markets never move to exact numbers. We can clearly see that, based on the new tariff, head news that's coming out, from the White House here, that we had a nice little pullback. It'd be interesting to see, if this move higher this week is, it's just a pullback for a further down move, or, I don't know, maybe we're just going to be stuck in this range here. So we can see that we are kind of in between the 30-day and the 200-day currently. Who knows? We could be just kind of stuck in this range for a little bit until the trade negotiations, and all the headline news that's coming out about the tariffs and the trading, and the trade discussions. Yeah, we could get stuck in this range here. Don't be surprised if we do break above a little bit and break below a little bit, for the near term. But I would not be surprised if, if we're kind of the remainder of this year, if we're still kind of stuck in this longer or bigger range here, from the previous fall's highs, to the end of the year's lows. Yeah, if we take a look at the weekly chart over here, I wouldn't be surprised if we're still kind of stuck in this range for the remainder of the year, while the market basically takes a breather. We all kind of think that, well, it's doing this because of headline news, and yes, it is, but also markets are made up of people and people's emotions, and just like people. People need to take a rest every once in a while when running a marathon. And so markets are basically kind of like an extension of human behavior here. So if we kind of squish up the chart a little bit, we can see we had this nice kind of marathon run up. So it's time for the markets to catch the breath and take a little breather here. We call that a consolidation, right? So if we take a look back, at the end of the chart here, it only goes back to 2014. We had about a 2-year kind of breather here, consolidation, or maybe a year and a half, depends on how you want to look at it. And if my charts went back any further, prior to 2014, again, there was a nice run up, prior to this. So with any luck, that's kind of what we still have, is just a nice little breather, before the next move up in the markets. So, that would be nice to have. But otherwise, we could be stuck in maybe a much bigger, longer term consolidation. Otherwise, if headline news doesn't go well, but that seems very unlikely because company, profit reporting is very comfortably in a good position here to keep us kind of at the levels that we're at here. So there'd have to be some kind of really drastic macro event, I would think, that in order to send us lower. So much lower, kind of like when I say lower, back to the 2016 levels. That would probably require some kind of really major macro underlying fundamental change in company profits to send the markets down that far. So the short summary would be, I'm expecting, us to be kind of stuck in this range that we kind of set up in last year, for the remainder of this year. And, if you kind of look historically back through, your weekly and monthly charts, that would be a good, healthy resting period for the markets in order to make a continued move higher. If you like trading, short-term trading and trading ranges, this would be a good opportunity for those kind of traders.